So welcome to Everything Homestead, and today I'm going to show you what I do with onions that obviously have started to grow. Normally people would just throw these away. If you plant these, you can keep harvesting the tops as green onions and they will keep growing. I would not use these as seed onions, meaning with onions you want to collect the seeds on the second year that they grow. But these are hybrids, and I don't keep hybrid seeds. They don't reproduce properly. I only keep heirloom seeds. But these would normally be thrown out. Each one of them is very squishy. This one is just starting to grow. If you look at the top, you can just barely see the little green starting in there. So if you plant these, like I said, you'll have green onion tops growing, and you can use them just like green onions from the store. No reason to throw them out, and then anytime you want fresh onion, green onions, you just come out and chop off a few leaves. So we'll get started. So my son is using a hori. It's a Japanese style trowel, and if you want to hold it up, Ezekiel, they can see it's a serrated edge on one side, so it will actually cut through like small roots. On this side it's a blade edge, so you do want to be careful because it'll slice your fingers up. But it cuts through everything and it's very easy to plant with it. It's also 4 inches deep, so you could use it for bulbs. Right now we're using it for onions, which is basically a bulb. And we're going to plant it right at the crown level like he's doing. It's perfect. Once the sun hits this, it will grow straight up instead of sideways. It was sitting in a basket, so it was trying to grow sideways. And then the next one, Ezekiel, will be, yep, right about there. And we're expecting a really cold storm front coming in, which is kind of unusual for this area along the Pacific Northwest. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some buckets, and I'm going to put them over each one of these. It will work as a mini greenhouse and keep them warm enough that they will not freeze. And we'll show you that in a minute too. Alright, perfect. So now we'll go get the buckets and I'll show you what that looks like. So this is my front yard garden bed. I don't have a lot of sun on this property. We're completely surrounded by 200-foot tall trees. So I've had to etch out my garden where I can. And in the front yard where I would normally have a driveway, I have my garden. These are raised beds. I'll do another video on these alone because these are absolutely phenomenal and so easy to make. But I wanted to let you see what the bed I'm putting the onions in is, and it's got a stock panel that goes over the top of it. I can plant sweet peas or runner beans or anything I want along that, and it provides its own trellis that way. And the beans hang down, or the pea pods hang down. It also provides shade for some of the plants underneath, so lettuce and other things won't get scalded. And we're about to put the buckets on right now, so we'll cover one onion plant with a bucket, and then the other 2 are going to be able to fit under one bucket. And this is just for the next probably 4 days while we have this massive storm coming in, and we'll probably put a couple rocks on top so the wind doesn't blow them over. And this heats up during the day. It heats up the soil just like a mini greenhouse, and then at night it keeps it just warm enough that they won't freeze underneath. And I've used this many times when we were expecting freak cold spells, and I had my tomatoes and cucumbers and all kinds of plants outside. You can use any kind of container. I've used like water buckets for the animals. I've used milk jugs that I cut the top off and I turned them upside down. Pretty much anything, even like Starbucks cups. If you have very small plants, you can do that. You just want to make sure that the leaves don't touch the side, because the side of the container does get cold and it can freeze that one leaf. It won't kill the whole plant, but it'll kill that leaf. And this is a really easy way to you know, keep it warm during cooler nights or when you're expecting a cold storm. So in a few weeks we'll come back out and I'll show you how the onions are growing, show you how tall they get and how to harvest and use them.